サムシングループは新しい価値を創造し、心のこもったサービスを通じて社会に貢献する企業を目指すという経営理念のもと、住宅向け地盤改良工事をコア事業とするサムシンからスタートしました。その後2000年に住宅地盤保証事業へ進出したことを契機に、持ち株会社サムシングホールディングスを設立し、事業子会社を傘下に置く企業グループへと発展し、2006年には地盤専門業者として国内で唯一上場を果たしました。1997年の創業以来、マーケットイン、ニッチ、グロースという3つのキーワードを念頭に置いて経営戦略を立案しており、顧客の望むものサービスを提供するマーケットインの視点でビジネスを展開し、成長が見込まれる新規市場、海外新興市場も積極的に開拓するとともに、新たなサービスを生み出し続け、住宅価値創造事業グループへと進化し発展し続けております。それではこれから主な各事業会社及び事業の紹介をいたします。皆様が少しでもサムシングループの事業をご理解いただければと思っております。それではご覧ください。
We will now look over the operations of each company in the Something Group. Something Holdings Co. Ltd. plays a role in the business management, planning and contracting of the financial affairs of our business subsidiaries, business management of the entire group, and the development of new businesses as the pure holding company of this group. Something Co. Ltd. is positioned as the core company of this group and has offices in major cities throughout Japan. The business of Something Co. Ltd. is principally ground improvement work that focuses on residential buildings and small stores. We carry out ground surveys and measurements, ground improvements, and also subsidence correction work in houses where irregular subsidence has occurred. GIR Co. Ltd. has partnered with a damage insurance company and primarily conducts ground guarantee operations for residential housing. The firm offers SmileGuard, a safety escrow system for house completion, which provides support to the land, a ground guarantee system, and to the completion of the housing. GeoSign Co. Ltd. offers the G-Web system, which is a residential ground third-party certification system for the implementation of ground surveys with electronic authentication. This system prints the latitude, longitude, and a timestamp on documentation and can prevent fraud and tampering before it happens by storing data electronically. Something conducts ground improvement business as a ground specialist. Ground surveys, site surveys, ground improvement, subsidence correction, and ground guarantees. We offer a one-stop service. Surveys. When constructing a building, if the ground that forms its base is not stable, it is not possible to construct a strong building where people can live with peace of mind. It is possible to provide this stability by improving the ground. Upon carrying out ground improvement, the information from the ground survey and site surveys is used to make the best foundation. The site survey has a measurement of the current conditions and a bureaucratic investigation. Drawings of the site are made, and there is an investigation into the various required regulations and costs in the construction plan. In ground surveys, there are a Swedish weight sounding test, standard penetration test, and plate bearing test. The Swedish weight sounding test is the most common technique to determine the strengths of the ground if looking at detached residential housing. A 5-kilogram weight is placed on a rod with a screw point, and there is a check to see if the rod sinks into the ground. In the event the rod doesn't sink into the ground, the weight placed on the rod is increased in turn to 15 kilogram, 25 kilogram, 50 kilogram, 75 kilogram, and then 100 kilogram. If the rod sinks into the ground before the 100 kilogram weight is used, then that weight and the distance of the penetration are recorded. If there is no penetration, even when a 100 kg weight is used, the rod is rotated clockwise and the required number of half revolutions to penetrate 25 cm is measured. During the measurement, the sensation transmitted from the rod is also recorded. When the survey reaches any of the following 4 points, the measurement is complete. 1. When the screw point reaches a hard layer. 2. When the repellent force of the rod during rotation becomes significantly large. 3. When a large stone or similar is hit and it is not possible to move forward. 4. When the penetration depth reaches 10 meters. If this survey is carried out by hand, it is extremely heavy labor, and so there may be variations depending on the person performing this test. At Something, we perform this test with a fully automatic machine, so it is possible to carry out the survey smoothly and accurately. Furthermore, we have introduced a dedicated system that can carry out electronic authentication in real time of the location information, survey time, survey data, and more. This means that there are safeguards against unauthorized entry and tampering, and it is possible to view the results of the survey immediately. We conduct ground surveys that are both accurate and safe. Next, we will take a look at some ground improvement techniques. In the event that the ground on which a building is being constructed is not stable, then it is possible to make it stable by improving the ground. At Something, we have at our disposal a variety of techniques for ground improvement and ground subsidence correction work, including techniques that have been evaluated by third-party organizations. We offer techniques that are both optimal and economical. Furthermore, in Something, there is a management by a construction control system that looks at whether the ground improvement work is being suitably carried out, and a visualization of the ground is performed. Typical techniques: the column improvement technique, the surface ground improvement technique, and the steel pipe jacking technique. The construction machine is set, which is equipped as standard with construction management equipment for the planned position. While pouring in a cement solidifying agent and water, the machine digs through until it reaches the planned depth. After reaching the bottom, the bit of the construction machine returns, while the original ground and solidifying agent is agitated by the reverse rotation. Once again, while agitating to the planned depth, the bit of the construction machine is lowered and then also returns to its original position. Such a movement of the construction machine is linked with a computer in real time, and the state of the construction is completed in a manner that is clearly visible. In addition, all improvement work is stored as data and centrally managed. The work is not finished until the ground is sufficiently agitated and then completely hardens. After completion, the ground of the building is improved and will become stable. Furthermore, at Something, we have at our disposal 3 techniques that have been evaluated and certified by a third-party assessment organization: the HITS column technique, Prop Type S, and the NSB column technique, which was developed by our firm. We can offer you the most appropriate technique to suit your situation. For example, the condition of your ground. The part of the ground that will become the foundation is excavated, and the bottom is made uniform. The cement solidifying agent is poured in according to the mixture amount, and the ground is made even. The solidifying agent is mixed evenly. After compaction with heavy machinery, a roller is used to harden evenly. after completion, the ground is improved and supports the building. This technique measures the increase in the bearing capacity of the ground and the decrease of subsidence through a pipe that penetrates into the soft ground, and the combined action of the friction force of the surface of the pipe and the bearing capacity of the tip of the pipe with the bearing capacity of the ground. The rod of the penetration equipment is set in the head of the pipe, and the pipe is then driven in. While keeping the pipe vertical, it penetrates into the ground by the press-in force and rotational force of the penetration equipment. After installing the cap on the pipe, the foundation is fortified and the ground is reinforced. At Something, we offer the optimal technique to suit the ground conditions. The RESP technique, which has no spheroid wing in the tip, or the SMV pile technique, which has a spheroid wing in the tip. These techniques have been evaluated and certified by a third-party assessment organization. In addition to the techniques that we have shown you at this time, we offer the GeoPlus technique and the EcoGeo technique that have been developed by our firm, among others. These have been evaluated and certified by a third-party assessment organization. In each individual case, we select the most appropriate technique and propose an economical approach that takes into account the environment. Subsidence correction. Subsidence correction is work that corrects buildings back to a state of normalcy when they have started to incline due to changes in the land and the lack of bearing capacity in the ground. It is possible to select from various techniques for subsidence correction depending on the state of the building and ground. The time required and budget varies depending on the technique in accordance with these conditions. We will now look at the features of 5 techniques for this. The underpinning steel pipe pile press fit technique, the underpinning pressure impression technique, the chemical injection by grouting technique, the chemical injection by earthen resin technique, and the base raising technique. The ground below the foundation is dug out, a tunnel is excavated, and workers pass under. The underpinning steel pipe pile press fit technique uses a hydraulic jack and press fits a steel pipe to firm ground inside the tunnel and raises the building through this counterforce. After this process is performed in multiple locations until the building becomes level. Features. 1. There is no need to live in a temporary residence during construction. 2. This technique can be applied to both mat foundations and continuous footing. 3. The risk of repeat subsidence is reduced because this technique uses the counterforce of the hard ground. The ground below the foundation is dug out, a tunnel is excavated, and workers pass under. The underpinning pressure impression technique spreads the pressure impression inside the tunnel and installs a hydraulic jack. The building is raised through this counterforce. However, there is a requirement that the result of the ground survey should be N value 5 in the surface. After this process is performed in multiple locations until the building becomes level. Features. 1. There is no need to live in a temporary residence during construction. 2. This technique can be applied to both mat foundations and continuous footing. 3. The risk of repeat subsidence is reduced because this technique uses the counterforce of the hard ground. 4. The time required is shorter and the costs are cheaper compared to the steel pipe pile press fit technique. This is a technique that injects chemicals by grouting in the lower part of the foundation and then raises that foundation. Multiple inject pipes are installed in the ground of the lower part of the foundation, and with a special injection through the multi-point interval method, permanent grout is injected in, and the foundation along with the building are raised. Features: 1. There is no need to live in a temporary residence during construction. 2. This is a noiseless, vibration-free technique. 3. Precision restoration in the order of millimeters is possible. 4. Periphery excavation work in the structure is not required. 5. A mat foundation is a condition of construction. 6. Corrections above a subsidence amount of 5 cm are possible. In the chemical injection by urethane resin technique in the lower part of the foundation, urethane resin is injected into the lower part of the foundation. This firing pressure forces up the housing where each foundation has subsided and returns it to its original position. However, a mat foundation is a condition of construction. Features: 1. There is no need to live in a temporary residence during construction. 2. This is a noiseless, vibration-free technique. 3. Precision restoration in the order of millimeters is possible. 4. Periphery excavation work in the structure is not required. 5. Work is possible in the short construction period. 6. The set of materials and equipment are loaded onto a small truck, and it is also available in residential areas. 7. The resin in this technique uses completely CFC-free materials made in Japan, which take into account the environment. 8. The standard of the subsidence amount is a degree of 5 cm. It is possible to apply the land, which is a ground guarantee system provided by GIR Co. Ltd. This is a technique that temporarily severs the edges of the building and the foundation, jacks up only the building, and restores its level. However, there is no reinforcement effect in the ground, so there is the condition that will not sink any further. Features: 1. The cost is low compared to other techniques because there is no excavation work. 2. There is no need to live in a temporary residence. 3. This technique is suitable for partial corrections. 4. This technique can be applied to both mat foundations and continuous footing. In each individual case, we select the most appropriate technique from those listed above, according to the state of the damage to the land and your budget. We will propose an economical technique that takes into account the environment. Something Co. Ltd. has set up offices throughout Japan, and in each plot of land, we work closely locally. We are engaged in research and development that will lead to improved reliability, productivity, and quality in the ground industry in order to be able to propose quickly and carefully high-quality services to our customers. GeoWeb Report, a survey results viewing service on the web developed by GeoSign Co. Ltd. and our group of companies, is a new online service that allows you to view the results of surveys on the internet in real time. If you are somewhere which is connected to the internet, it is possible to use this system anywhere at any time. It is also possible to instantly search data from previous jobs, and it will save you time looking for the right document. In addition, it has become possible to search for investigation reports on a map. Next, we will look at the ground guarantee system. Homeowners' warranty insurance is exempt from responsibility for problems caused by land subsidence. In other words, if any chance irregular subsidence occurs in a residential house, it may incur a large sum of money to fix the problem. At Something Group, we offer ground insurance that will give you peace of mind. The land is provided by GIR Co. Ltd. and takes on the responsibility of the ground guarantee business in the Something Group. The land is a comprehensive ground guarantee service that offers peace of mind. By entering into an insurance agreement with a damage insurance company, it guarantees the surveyed and improved land over a long period of time. In the unlikely event that a problem should develop whose cause lies in the ground, this peace of mind warranty service promises to restore the ground and building to their original state by taking on the responsibility of a guarantee organization. SmileGuard acts as an additional guarantee service and is a safety escrow system that is managed through an account in trust that has been established in advance for the construction funds of the client and pays the construction company money according to the volume of construction work. It is an independently developed escrow system for house completion that protects the construction funds of the client against unexpected situations. Something Group is committed to further growth in the future, and we are continuing to evolve and develop as a residential value creation business group that is constantly creating new services.